Hello, everybody. It's us. We're live. The garden's live too. We'll be featuring it. To kind of tell you where we're going today, we got a couple of interesting questions, and one was about how to calibrate a pendulum, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you. I got a couple more birthday presents, and since they're super interesting. I had someone who sent me a Shungite egg.
Ooh,
That's pure Shungite. When you hold it in your hands, you can feel like the energy just pulsing through it. If you don't know what Shungite is a mineral that was created, and it's in Russia, kind of near China. And I read 13 million years ago an asteroid hit there, and yet some people have said it was like 2 to 3 billion years ago. So I don't know. None of us were around. Who can tell? But what happened is an asteroid blasted into the Earth, and it created this giant pure carbon. It's 99.9% carbon. It's the purest carbon in the world. And among other things, with Shungite, you can filter water, and it will even filter out radiation.
Really?
That's amazing. And it's if you've ever seen a geodesic dome, the thing Buckminster, if you put two geodesic domes together, that creates a fullerene, which is the form that this crystal's in. It's an absolutely fascinating rock. I have some. A woman sent me a bag of Shungite chips, and it's really a kind of it's pure carbon. And unless you polish, this egg's been very carefully polished, because when you handle Shungite on your own, it leaves little black streaks all over your skin. But it's a great stone, and it doesn't take much. I have a couple little chips that are like that big sitting by my computer, and they absorb the EMFs. Okay. You can put it near any kind of an appliance that has EMF stuff. So, okay. Mark that. So anyway, so that was a fun thing I got. I also got I have another egg story about my eggs. I had a whole list of people that I had ordered eggs, and I offered to let them go if they didn't want to wait. This was over a year ago. All of them waited. I mean, I filled them up as fast as I could, but I had a couple of people who waited over. And then I was filling orders for my new eggs, getting them out to everybody, and I mailed an egg to this lovely lady in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and she mailed it back, and she said, dear, I think your record keeping is a little off. She'd had one for a year. So she sent me the new egg back.
How sweet of her to send it back.
I know. She could have kept it and given it away as a Christmas gift, or saved it for Easter next year for the Easter egg hunt. I mean, Lord only knows. But I want to thank Pat, the lovely lady who did that.
Very kind.
And what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to look at a couple of these different questions. They both have to do with tools. And I'm going to blow up and make the pendulum look bigger. And that was another birthday present I got. This is from the same lady who made the Past Life Garden, but she's reworked her pendulum, and it's going to be tiger's eye, but it's going to look like this. Mine is crystal. She sent me this one, but it's a paper clip thing, and it's a much longer hanger, and it gives a much freer swing.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about pendulums and good stuff like that. And I'm going to try to take the questions in the orders I got them. But I'm going to talk about calibrating a pendulum. And if you contact me, I will send you a booklet. It won't look like this. It'll be a PDF, but it's called Letter to Robin. And it was written by a guy named Walt Woods, who was in America the best known person for dowsing and pendulum work. Wow. And the things like, it's like 21 pages, 23 pages long. And if you ever had a question about a pendulum, it's going to be in here, or dowsing with dowsing rods. And so if you're interested in that, you can, the contact me through my email, crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail. And we're going to look at pendulums right now. So Kelly and I are going to take back seat to the garden.
Hi, everybody. Nancy Jean, have you ever used the dowsing rods?
Yes, I have a set. And I've been out trying to find ley lines because I've been told there's ley lines in a creek near me. And then I was told by an architect how to find them, and I tested it out, and it seems to work. I just haven't done it enough to really feel
Right.
incredibly confident. Hi, Skywalking. Hi, Libra lady. Okay. I'm going to do a show on feedback from people who have the heart egg and the throat egg because I have throat chakra eggs too. Okay. But now I'm going to try to take my squirrely little brain and make it stick on one topic, which is not always the easiest thing to do. One of the things about readers. Anyway, so we have the Dowsing garden here. And I found when I started working with the garden, one of the things I read was, so people can see it, if you swing it around before you start asking your questions, then you can get better answers. And because I found if I started it, just sat there, sometimes it'd just sit there and I was like, that's boring to me. Anyway, so we're going to do the Dowsing protocols, which is, do I have permission to douse? Yes, that's yes. And am I aligned with my higher self? Yeah, it's a yes. And am I fully protected? Yes. So you kind of want to ask those questions because there is that element, and you can feel it if you douse. It's different than when I lay cards, but I can feel that other energies flowing through me. And when I used to work at my table, I used to tell people, it'd say, well, you're just making that up or whatever. And I'd say, okay. And I'd teach them how to, I had a pendulum there, and they're sitting there and their hands not moving. And all of a sudden the pendulum starts moving and they go, oh my God, that's freaky. I said, okay, well, you asked. So obviously you can do the simple yes, no's. And you saw what it just did. It looped all the way back to get to a yes. That was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you calibrate a pendulum? Well, on this thing, if you get the garden chart for me, it's got yes this way, no this way. And then it's got the numbers it's got the numbers from 10 to 100 here. It's also got the numbers from 1 to 10. And this was a question I got the other day from a woman who's trying to figure out her product blend for her new store. So she said, she mentioned one of the products, and so for her first product, I said, what should be the blend? And it said it should be 30% of her inventory. And then I said, and she had two products. I said, what should the other one be? And it went to 70, which it just did. It swung over towards 70. And she said that she was glad to get that confirmation because from her online sales, she kind of sensed that was the way that the products were going to split. So you could do that. You can, if you're looking at a job and you say, what's the chance that I'm going to get this job? Not yes, no, but what percentage of me is going to get this job? And since it's a made up one, it went right to 50-50 because it doesn't have anything to tie to. But so you can use it to do percentages. Now, this is the one that I like the best. You hear readers say, up your frequency. And here we have a frequency chart, and it starts with 20 and it ends at 1,000. And when you're at 1,000, you're at full consciousness, and it's got all of the gradations on down. When you're at 20, you're living in shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger. I can tell you when you get into angry, and I do have an Irish temper, and if something pisses me off, swinging a pendulum ain't going to help get my frequency up. So I'm going to do, what is my frequency today? And what you do to do frequencies on this chart, you just add a 0 to this. So I'm at 1,000. So
Jean is on fire.
I tend to stay there as long as I don't go out and have weird things happen. Now, the days when my heart isn't working well, I'm at between 70 and 80, which is I'm present and I'm dealing with non-dualities, but I'm not in full consciousness because when my heart's not beating right, I don't like to be in my body. So how do you program this? Well, if you get the Dowsing garden that Danny designed this, and he put the little chart on the bottom, and he did all this hard work. If you get one of these gardens, a lot of it is already programmed. And then if you get the Letter to Robin booklet, it tells you how to program it. And you can program it for what you need to know, for what your questions are going to be. And so that's kind of the pendulum. Now, we had one person who asked about, what should I do? You know, what kind of, I'm going to go back to me. Someone's asking about, what should my spiritual path be? And I think that's a really personal question, but, you know, the first thing I'd ask them is, do you have sort of something you go through every day? Like I have in my cell phone, I have a funky little program that flips up a card of the day.
Right.
And yesterday, I was going to go out and meet this lovely lady and go visit the Japanese gardens in Fort Worth. And I didn't look at the card because I was so busy getting ready to go for the card of the day. I got there. They had reworked the garden, and to get to the garden was like a mile walk, which I made about a quarter of. And then my heart went. So we had to find a cart to get me back to the place, and I had to drive back home. And I was very, very upset. So I was sitting in my chair doing not much else, and I flipped open my phone and looked at my card. My card of the day yesterday was the Eight of Swords.
Wow.
And the first question in this particular book about that was, how are you limiting yourself? What have you not taken care of that keeps you contained? And I thought, well, that, you know, I have not pushed the doctors to get me to the physical therapists and the people I need to steady my walk so that I don't strain my body, so I don't have those reactions. So that's a case of, you know, seeing if it works. Now, that took care of the
Well,
question.
that's very nice. Terry Renner says, Nancy Jean's garden, you look very glowing in the light today.
Can I say, I get the light I get, kids. I have no artificial, there's not a light from the outside that can make it in this room. I'm in the room that's in the middle of the condo. But thank you. So if for the person who wants to learn about calibrating, do you have anything else to say? You use a pendulum occasionally, don't you?
I do not. I have not got a pendulum yet, but and I wanted to go and get one, but someone was very kind. One of my subscribers has been kind enough to say that they wanted to gift me one.
Oh, cool.
And so I'm waiting for that to arrive in the mail so that I can start using that. And I'm very excited to get started. I did notice that there is a question there from Silky Pink Rose, which, what a lovely name that is. That's 1:12 your time.
Okay. I'm not seeing it, but
what is my psychic abilities is the question.
Okay. Oh, okay. Because I was looking for. If you really want us to see your questions, please type them in caps, because I'm old and I'm blind.
And just before that, Susan is asking what the name of the app is that you use, if you know.
Oh yeah, it's called Galaxy Tarot, and it has you can actually do small readings on it, which sometimes I'll do if someone's not near me and they want to see what the reading is. You can actually take a snap of the reading as it appears on your screen and send it to them.
Yeah, very cool.
So it's Galaxy Tarot.
Yeah. There was another comment up here by Anita. She says, I use a rose quartz with a silver border on silver chain seems to work for me. Does the silver interfere with the energy of the stone?
No, absolutely not.
Referring to the pendulum.
Not if you align them and say, you know, this is my unified, because my pendulums, this particular one, and I have a pendulum I've had 40 years. And it's the one I normally use, but I'm using this one today because this is going to be the one that comes along with the Past Life Garden, which I'm almost working on. And it's got this really cool thing at the top, and you can unhook it. So if you want to hang it somewhere, it's a little star. Lovely. And you can actually unhook it and hang it on things. So makes it cool. And she also, if you tell her what your sun sign is, she puts your sun sign on the bag that it
Oh,
comes
how
in.
nice is that?
Yeah.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, almost really good. But okay, so we're thinking about what you can do spiritually. Now, you all know there's different kinds of cards. And I learned to read tarot when I was 12. So I tend to think that everything that's not tarot is sort of cheating, because you got to go learn those cards and you got to learn their meanings. And, and different decks will have different flavors to the meaning. But
That's right.
okay. But I'll tell you, if you want to start working with tarot, and you get the Rider-Waite deck, which is the most common one. I don't use the Rider-Waite symbols. I'll tell you who does. Jeffrey, that does dailies with me, uses it. And if you've ever seen Ellie Down Under, she uses a Rider-Waite. And she says she's been using that deck for 30 years. And I don't know how she does that, because I find at the rate I read, in about a year, 6 months to a year, I have to get new cards because so many energies flowed through them.
Yeah.
I don't know what she does that cleans them up, because I just started a new deck today on the ones I use. Now,
I have this one right here, the Smith-Waite Centennial version.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I have to say that, I think this is relevant. Only, I just started to learn how to read tarot cards in, I don't know, when was it, Nancy Jean, in January, December, January.
Mm-hmm.
And, I heard the advice that most readers will give, and that is to start with the Rider-Waite system, because that's the one that's most often referred to. That's the symbols that we most often recognize, right?
Right. And I'm going to put you parallel to me, so we're going to make us even.
Yeah. And I got these cards, and I have to say that despite my many attempts to resonate with them, I don't even know what it is. It's not really the images that I just don't feel like they speak to me.
Mm-hmm.
So then someone else suggested that I get a Lightseer deck.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I like the colors. It's bright. It's not it's not dark. And when I say dark, I don't mean the color dark. I just mean it like the Rider-Waite seems
the energy and the images.
Yeah. It feels a little dark to me, a little heavy. So this feels a little lighter, a little brighter. And I mean, they just started yelling at me, like they were yelling my name out. And so that really resonates with me. And so I would encourage anyone that's starting out to try to find something that catches your eye in terms of like the images or the colors. And you were saying before about there's many sites that you can go to find the different cards. There's YouTubers in this community that will do like deck flip throughs and reviews, which will help, so you can see all the cards. There's also on Pinterest, I understand that some people will review different decks, so that will help.
There's a lot of indie decks on Pinterest that you're not going to find on Amazon
right,
and other things. Yeah. But I think the glory of starting with a Rider-Waite sort of deck is I use Eileen Connolly.
That's pretty.
And that's the Three of Pentacles. It's a little different image, but the images are a lot the same. And let's see, this is her High Priestess. And in this deck, Eileen Connolly taught tarot. She has some really good instructional books. Some of them are out of print now. But the reason I wanted to use this deck when I was reading at table, and I'll show you the cards. She's got two cards that she's relabeled, but they mean this would be in a traditional deck, this would be the devil. But it's not. It's called materialism. And if you think about it, that's what the devil's about. It's being so tied to something else that you can't see the spirit and the energy of the world behind you. Okay. And then the other one that she changed is death. She made it transition. And trust me, you don't want to be sitting in a wine bar with someone who's had a few glasses and pull out the death card. So that's why I picked that deck. But and I love the images, and there's something to staying in the kind of Rider Waite camp to have that to keep you, because I could take this deck and I can look up the Galaxy Tarot thing I told you about.
Yep.
It is the traditional Rider Waite deck and its imagery. And if I kind of forget what a card's about, or I just want to be refreshed, I can go there.
Right.
And then
that's a really good point that you just made too, Nancy Jean. When you first start learning tarot and you have a particular deck, it doesn't really matter what deck it is that you pick up that you start to learn with. The more you practice, obviously, the more you retain, the more you learn in terms of the meanings or what the images might be saying to you. And then you try to branch out and you switch to a different deck. And that is when it becomes difficult, in my opinion. That's when all of the things that you've heard before you started about the Rider-Waite system, that's when they come into play, because the Rider-Waite is like universal. Everyone uses it. A lot of decks are based on the Rider-Waite. Like I got this deck, it's the Cat Tarot, because, I'm dozen cats. Why would I not get Cat Tarot? And I literally had to write down on every card what they were, because there's like zero association, in my opinion. And so to your point, there's signs and symbols in the Rider-Waite deck which are really, really helpful to know. And even though it doesn't resonate with me, I still try to use it, because that's what everybody knows.
Right.
And it helps me, if I use this, and I know it helps me, to be able to use other decks other than the Lightseer, right? Like I almost know the Lightseer deck off the top of my head. Like I've almost got it memorized now, in terms of like what images is what, right? This one here, the meanings, I don't find that other decks speak to the same way that this does, if that makes sense, what I just said.
Yeah. And the other kind of deck you can get is, now, if they want, of course, every deck comes with its little white book, and some of the little white books are much more elaborate. This is the one that comes with Archangel Power Tarot. But if you read his definitions, he has no reverses in his, and that means the person who created this didn't want you to use reverses. And when I'm reading a traditional Rider-Waite deck, I'll read reverses. I read reverses in my normal readings. But when I pull Radley's cards, I don't. This is what I get. And the other thing Radley does is he puts a description at the bottom, and that helps you. And for as fairy tale in some ways that this deck looks, when I first got this deck, I opened it up and it was a Saturday, and I was at the table at Dolly's, and I was offering one free reading for anyone who wanted one, so I could practice with them, because it's like you said, every deck has its own feel and its own way of being. And what I found out from this particular deck, business people really love this deck.
Wow.
They could all relate to it. Now, the other one that I have that I like, and it's based on Rider-Waite, but and this is the one I use when I do my past life readings, and it's called Luna Soul. And this is the Wheel of Fortune on it. And it's hard because it's light. Yeah. And he also, the person who put this deck together in their little white book, which is actually one of the better little white books I've ever seen, he doesn't want you to read reverses. He does not have that. Yeah, he doesn't have that in his lexicon. But there are images in the Luna Soul Tarot that I just think are absolutely wonderful. So when you're thinking about what do you want to do, now that's when we're talking about tarot-ish sort of decks.
Yeah.
Then we have specialized oracle sort of cards, and this is one you've shown on yours, The Secret of Color.
Yep.
And it's a very uplifting, and you read through and you get the images and you see what it says, and that can be a good one to pull a card for someone, if just for that. And then there's decks that are really specialized, and this is Talking to Heaven with James Van Praagh, and it's all about what the spirit on the other side is saying to you. And I got that deck because I was hired to work on an event where an artist and a medium were connecting to people on the other side, and she was drawing pictures of them. It was really it.
I've got this deck here, and
I love that deck.
I really, really like this. The images are really nice. This is by Dr. Judith Orloff. I like the images. I like the messages. And then she also has this deck here. And so if we're talking about getting a deck to help yourself in terms of like, you want like gentle guidance, this would not be the deck I would recommend. If you are looking for a deck that, you've got some shadows, you've got some healing, maybe you've got anxiety, a mental health disorder, you're going through a difficult situation, then I would recommend one of these guys. This is called the Impasse Empowerment deck. And then, again, this is by Judith Orloff. The cards are massive, like in terms of the size, but they're beautiful, lovely messages, bright, nice colors. And they really, it's quite a big deck of cards. They really, really do speak to me, and I find them super helpful for a lot of things. So it really depends when you're looking for like oracle cards. What is it that you want it to do for you, right? Are you looking for gentle guidance, or are you looking for healing? Are you looking for, talking to like your ancestors, angels, or energy, or angels? Like it's right. I just got this new deck here, and I'm like in love with it. Literally, from the moment I opened the box, I fell in love with it. It's called Energy and Spirit Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. This is the back of the card. And this is just one of the cards. It is such a lovely deck. I love the way it feels. I love the messages. So this is all about energy and spirit. And it's a beautiful, beautiful deck. And so I find them helpful, like to this particular deck, not to pull a card every day from, but to sort of top off a reading. Right.
I have Judith Orloff, that deck. I have that in my phone too. And you can shuffle it, and I'll shuffle it, and I'll tell them to tell me when to stop, and then I'll send them the card through their messages. So
that's awesome.
So that kind of gives the person who's sort of searching for what you want to do, try different things, and you'll find the one that you feel most comfortable with. I didn't even get into crystals and stones all that much because that gets to be like a whole nother universe. But and there are cards that are, this is not an oracle deck. I'm sure everyone who's watching us here has seen this before. She just drew these. These were things she came up with, and she reads them as completely intuitive. And she also has some follow-up cards to it. That's from Lilac Lantern. And
I made my own. I bought a deck of 180 blank cards from Amazon. It cost me $14.99 Canadian. Bought myself a set of 24 markers. And I just went to town, and each time I've added new sections. So there's an interaction sections. The angel numbers are in here. There's stuff for the sweet dreams readings that I do at nighttime. There is the months of the year. There's the chakras. I've got the birthstones. I've got all kinds like business and finance. I just keep adding to it. And it's amazing that not only was it really, really fun to do because it got all my creative juices flowing, and that was just lovely to be able to create it. I knew exactly what I wanted, but had no idea where to stop. And I've got like 98 cards in here, and it throws me off every time that it's so accurate, because it's like, I just kind of made these, like, that's not really a real oracle deck. But to your point, you can literally create that, and now everyone's using Andrea's cards, and it's working for them. So,
well, we're going to go to the table now, and I'm going to start answering the nice questions for these people who, let's see. No, that's not good.
You have someone in here from Ireland, from New Zealand.
Oh, really?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon.
Where are they from in Ireland? My mother's family came from the west coast of Ireland.
Let me see here.
Okay, the first question I'm going to go is Hello World, who asked, I think that's the first one I starred. Okay, we're going to make, okay. Does Spirit have any messages for me? So, hey, Spirit, you're going to focus on Hello World right now. What would it be? All this clattering and shuffling, what can I say?
Right.
Okay, what I would take looking at this lineup of cards is you've planted some ideas, but you're starting to be separated from them. And that's confusing you right now because you thought you had a direction and you weren't really sure. The balance is about to come to you, and the actual reward and money and focus is about to come to you. So we just went through a kind of a troubling eclipse, depending on where your chart, where it fell in your chart. I read a woman today whose ascendant is at the same place as mine, and both of us got zonked by it, and some weird things happened. But I don't think that's what's going on with you. I think you've planted, you've decided, no, that's the wrong direction. You're still a little confused. Just take a few deep breaths because the answer is coming to you really soon. That's the message Spirit has for you. You got something there, girl?
Yeah. So I pulled the Knight of Water. So that is the Knight of Cups. The traditional Rider-Waite. I used this deck. I had it out, but someone in the chat said that they just got this. So I thought, well, hey, why not? It's right on my table. I'll use it. Then I've got the Knight of Earth, which I thought is interesting that you've got two knights out. And then I've got the Five of Earth. So sort of backing up what you're saying there, Nancy Jean, that there's a little bit of conflict going on, but things are coming to you. I also pulled two oracle cards, and I got the Healing Heart and Pleasure. And so maybe going outside might help to relieve some of the anxiety there or conflict that you may be feeling. And just to let you know, I got the Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. That is
cool. So you can get what you want.
Right.
What I got from the two knights you pulled, because knights always mean movement, is somewhere along the line you got the impression that the only way you could make money was if you had to suffer. You had to really work for it. Yeah. And I think there's something you can do with a great deal of facility that you can do easily, and that's where you ought to be going. Next question. Will I have the ability to move money? Is money an obstacle? Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to throw this one in the garden. And because if in this one I can get a time frame, this is winter, spring, summer, fall. So for you that don't know about the timeline that's on the garden. It's for Sherry. I think it's going to be this fall. And the biggest problem you have is getting your own mind in the game. Somehow or another, you're psyching yourself out about the move and thinking things are false. But when your mind's in your heart, that's the stone. When it's in the heart chakra, it's saying to you, you need to open your mind up to your heart and do what you really want to do. I think you have a long past with where you are right now, and you're having a hard time viewing yourself getting past this thing. But you've moved before and you've made it work. You need to look at that. You've got some clarity you need to get here. In these two stones say basically the same thing. Use what you've known how to do and how to make it work. And this is great because this is new things moving on. And you've got value here. You've got the grounding stone in air, which your mental actions are your path to abundance, and your spirit, which is also in air, and air is a great place, and spirit transforms your thinking. So I think the only block you have about this move right now is you.
Yeah.
And thinking money's more of a problem than it is.
Nancy Jean, you've got a ton of questions flying in here, so you might want to close.
Okay, I'm going to go down. you want to do a quick thing on her and then we can move?
Sure. So I got basically everything that Nancy Jean got for you, Cherry. Is it Sherry or Cherry?
Sherry, Cheri.
And I want you to know that I got the Sun card on the end of my tarot deck. So I got the King of Air and the Sun and the Knight of Earth. Or sorry,
you're ready to go.
And the Sun. So
you just need to get past your own mind.
Yeah. This is the last card I pulled for you, which is transformation. A fresh new way of living emerges. And so that tells me with that Sun card that you are working your way out of whatever that you may be stuck with or stuck on.
I think it'll be by fall. You'll be completely secure in what you need to do next. Next question. Oh, I put this up. We're not going to do this today. I'm going to be doing a show with Ursula and Jimmy and Robert on the Ascension Gardens on heart and throat eggs and how to work with them. Right. And then I'm going to do some on my own, but people really need to have a chance to work with it before we can get to that. And let's see. Silver, we already answered your question. Silver does not interfere with your stone when you have it on a chain. And okay. Will my mother move into an assisted living facility? Yes, she's going to get there. I sense that she's had an accident or some sort of health situation that's come up that's made it extremely imperative this happens. She'll get what she needs, and it will put some of the bad parts behind her. I don't know if this is you or if you have a sibling, but someone of her children is not in favor of this. Or some young person had talked against it for her, but she's done. She needs to move on. It's time. She's done as much as she can.
Yeah, I got that. Just to play off of that, I've got the Chariot card, so I think that it's going to happen. And I want to say that I got the Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck, and so, your mother appreciates what you're doing for her. She knows that you're coming from a place of love. That's kind of how I'm feeling. I also got the Queen of Wands, which is, your mom needs to be independent, and you want that for her, right? You're both trying to do what you need to do to make this happen for her, so that she maintains her independence. And I think that it's going to happen quickly for you.
Okay, and now I'm feeling stuck. Am I doing what I should be doing, or is there some area that I should be focusing on? Okay. I'm asking if you're doing what you should be doing. If it says no, then that will give me an idea of where you should focus on. So we'll see.
BC Mom says, thank you. I am an only child. Yes, there were accidents necessitating the move. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, you were a positive force in her life, but she may have been her that didn't really want to move. Okay. I'll tell you what this lines up as. This is no, no, yes, yes, no, no. No, you're not doing what you should be doing. Yes, you should be doing the thing that your heart wants to study. and it's your choice. You have to make the decision.
Yeah.
So you there's something you used to do that was artistic or emotional for you, and yeah, you're ready to be out of here. You're ready to move on from where you are. Absolutely. And you've spent a lot of time. Anything you've spent the amount of time you have on learning will help you as you move along to your new skill, to your new abilities. Okay? What'd you get, dear?
Basically, I got what you got. I got that you're feeling a little bit stuck, a little bit stagnant, a little bit bored. Probably what you said. I literally got the Four of Cups. I got
Oh, yeah.
so you're moving. You want this to move quickly, or it is moving quickly. I'm not really sure. I think I pulled a couple of oracle cards. I think that you're searching for something that's going to make you feel like you fit in or belong. So like a good fit for yourself. And then I pulled from the Energy and Spirit Oracle deck, and I got Archangel. Sorry, I can't read backwards. Haniel. And this is joy, blessings, and intuition. And so I'm going to recommend that you sit yourself down and have a chat with your angels, your ancestors, your spirit team, and ask them, ask them what you should do. Ask them if they can help you. Maybe send you messages through your dreams or something like that. Maybe you need to manifest. But really, really, really try to go for what makes you happy in your heart. Do you know what I mean?
Haniel is my archangel. That's one I always work with. And she's also goddess of the moon. So she can help, do that. Anyway, this one I'm not going to give you an answer to this. I know monkeypox is supposed to be in Massachusetts. I know nothing about it. That's just beyond me. And I don't know that pulling a card's going to help. You need to go talk to your own doctors and look at your own health system. I mean, how you respond to treatment.
Yeah.
Okay. But I wanted to acknowledge the question. I'm not going. Okay. Sam wants to know if we have any advice from Spirit for him.
So, sorry, inside voice.
Yes.
I'm like, so, yes.
I'm going to pull you a color card because see what Spirit thinks you should be focusing on. Guys, I do not have a big desk and I have things spread all over it.
You know what? I think that the desk is never big enough. That's interesting to me.
Yeah. What the Spirit thinks Sam needs around him. Well, I don't know if this is right, but you need burgundy. And it says, awaken your passion. We're getting this a lot today. Go for what you're passionate about. What did you get?
I got the Knight of Cups, which is,
the card of passion.
Yep. I also got the Six of Cups. So maybe you did something, in your younger years. Maybe you need to
something your family did,
life, right? Something, yeah, exactly.
Well, my family were doctors, so since I didn't go to medical school, it was kind of blocked off.
Right.
Burgundy. I'm going to read you the card on Burgundy, what it says. Burgundy connects your passion, vibrancy, and enthusiasm in life. It leads you to your life purpose and makes your dreams become realized. Burgundy energizes you wherever you're feeling down, showing you the path so you won't feel so lost. So you might want to find some stones that are some amethyst that's really purpley, and that'll help settle you down. And when you're passionate about something, your intuition, your heart, and your soul awaken, you can start by your experience with clarity and purpose. So it's kind of a go for it card, but it says, you have to think about it, Sam.
Whew. Sam, your question made me hot.
Oh, uh-oh. No, this is my son, Liliad, is a doctor waiting to start an internship in dermatology. He's waiting for a post to open. Will that open soon? Let me throw the stones and see if we see a season. I see two closest stones are this summer, and they're like, I think he started to go into one practice and he went into another because the stones of where they've hit, it's his spirit and his mind are in false, but it doesn't mean like they were in a false place. It may mean that he was misdirected. And spirit's not yet totally aligned with the situation, but I see that he's got a fantastic future because his values are in the future. And all of his gifts have not been recognized yet, but he has confidence in his abilities and he's going to do well. I see that his body, this is going to mean a physical move, and I think he may have been trying to avoid a physical move, but his clarity comes out of his root chakra, which is time cosmic wisdom is needed to connect to the base, and creativity is needed to harmonize intentions. I think he started moving towards one post and he ended up going to another, and it's going to be the post he thinks he doesn't want that he's going to get.
Interesting.
What'd you get?
I got the Seven of Pentacles, so literally taking a pause, waiting for something to happen, which is what the problem is, right? I've got the Page of Wands, and then I've got the King of Pentacles, and so I feel like this is very inspiring to him. He is going to achieve the success, as Nancy Jean has just said, but I can't really tell you like a timing kind of thing. I did pull an oracle card, and I've got Butterfly, which is emerging. Is take a leap of faith. And I just thought that was interesting that I pulled that card, and then you said that it's going to be the one that he doesn't think he's going to get is the one you, right?
Right. I think, and he may look upon it as a second offer, as not the one he wanted,
right?
But it's actually going to be the place where the universe is putting him where he's going to have the best opportunities.
And you said summer, and I'm looking at the butterflies, and I'm like, okay, so summer it is, right?
Summer it is.
Summer it
is. Somebody reposted her question because she didn't put it in caps. Good, we're learning. Is anything about a job search? Okay, I think I'm going to pull a pendulum over to do your job search question. Where did I go? Okay. Bring up my spirit as I think about my job search. Okay. Is her job search going to be successful? Okay, now, how soon in weeks? Three to 4 weeks? Something that's coming up that's going to be available in 3 to 4 weeks? Jennifer? But you had a good, strong yes. It's there. It's just going to take a little bit longer.
I don't really have a whole lot to add to it, but I did get the Emperor, and I got the Six of Wands, and so that is success. That is, standing in your power, being seen, being victorious, that kind of thing, which tends to make me think that exactly what you want to happen is going to happen. You are going to be successful in your job search. I got the Queen of Swords on the bottom of the deck, and so I don't know if this helps or not, but I would just say I think that if you're taking the strategy of being very strategic about it, being very analytical, I don't mean plotting and scheming, but you've got you're organized in your job search. I think that's going to serve you well, and I think that's why you're going to be successful and be seen. That's kind of where I was going with that.
And I have a funny feeling she's walking away from a situation where her skills were not always appreciated.
Appreciated. Yeah.
Oh, I would love to know about my home and family, if you please. I'm from Dublin. Okay. Mayo. Don't think Mayo was one of the counties that we were from. But
oh no, Sam, it's fine. No worries. Sam saying sorry for the duplicate message. It's all good.
it's okay. You put it once not in caps, another time in caps, and we're getting people used to it. Okay, so I'm going to do 10 cards on your home and family. It's a lot of ground to cover, kids. Oh, poor baby. Can you see them? Yeah, this one you can't. That one, okay. Okay. If you don't know the way I read a Celtic cross, this is you today. This is the far past. This is the near past. This is the near future. This is the far future. And these are all the steps between this card to here. These cards, when I read them, they've already happened. You can't do much about them except the vibration. But any card I mention out here, and these all look good. I don't know why you'd want to change anything that's out here. But any of these cards that are out here, if you don't like what I say, this is what I think is a great thing about tarot. Pick that card up and turn it. So anyway, the way I read this is, yeah, your family's had some problems getting their act together, getting things started up again. This could be COVID related. This could be just the market shifted away from you. But you guys had the strength to make a go of it. And there may have even been someone who was in your businesses that left with some of the funds. So I think this all shows that your family pulled it together, even though they didn't have all of the money that they should have had. I have a feeling this guy was a thief and took something from you. But that's what's happened. Now, near future, that's what the Four of Wands. That's one of the best family cards you can get. You know, got it too?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So family's getting solid. I'm reading this card as your mother, but she's upside down. I think your mother was more upset about this than even you were. And you still have some delusions about what's going on, but man, the rest of it's great. You've got people celebrating and partying. Whoever thought they had control over everything has lost control of it. And this is everybody coming together and having a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Got it.
There's not much more I can say other than I got the Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck, and that's going to the beat of your own drum, standing in your power, and just
Right.
let your hair down, and just kind of like, it's almost like celebration times two, because we got the Four of Wands, which is your family celebration. This is you celebrating, that like we've gotten to this point is kind of what I want to say. I got this card here, which is Wise Leader. You are a beacon for others. So I say you just keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. Again, referring to the Knight of Wands here, because I think that other people are sort of drawn to you. There's something about your energy, right?
Well, she's gotten away from whatever was dragging their energy down.
Yeah, and then I got this Panther card, which talks about protection. And that is, consider who you allow to take your energy and who you give it away to freely. And so I think that this is sort of backing up all the cards that we have between you and me. Someone was sort of taking it from you and not being too nice about it. But now you seem to be standing on your own, and you seem to be having a good time doing it. So I say keep doing what you're doing, because you are a beacon for others. I love that.
Does the amethyst pendulum have healing energies? Amethysts in general can help you heal because it works through your spirit channels. It works through your heart. So it can be very helpful. And if you have a pendulum, just, if you use if you have pendulums for different reasons, there's some people that ask certain questions with one and not with another. So that would, I'd have to kind of know a little bit more about how you're using it. But yes, an amethyst pendulum will definitely have healing energies. So you got anything on that, Kelly, or are we going to the next one?
No, I was just, I have my little amethyst with me all the time. It's like one of my favorite stones. And quite often you'll see me doing this, and that's what I'm doing is with my amethyst. So because the reason is, for those that don't know, I have anxiety, panic disorder, and depression. And so quite often when I read, sometimes I might get nervous or feel antsy. And so my amethyst helps me with that.
Okay, we're going to do Bubsy Grant. Okay. Does the spirit have a message for me, please, Nancy, Gina, Kelly? Okay. What's the word for Bubsy Grant? Okay. What I see for Bubsy is you've had some people being sharing with you, and that's put you on a place where you can start to make some really positive changes. This card's warning you not to go overboard, to be careful about kind of some of your sharing and caring, because this money's meant for you to build for yourself. And you might really want to think about walking away from some of where all this has come from, because you'd be more fair to yourself.
Right.
You got anything, girl?
I've got similar to what you've got. I pulled oracle cards. I've got the fox, which is shadow work. There are no shadows without light. Then I've got protection. And then I've got the teacher, which is learning a new path. And so basically just mimicking everything that you said.
Okay.
Melinda is asking for your email. It's
crystal.directions.nancyjean@gmail.com.
That was the part I couldn't remember.
I know. Peg, coming up with me with employment and finances. Okay. I'm going to do it on the pendulum, because that's 2 questions, and my cards can't split themselves into little pieces to answer 2 questions. So I can do it on this.
Yeah.
Okay. What's coming up for Peg Watts? Positive? Yes. But it started over here a little bit, so it's going to seem negative at first, so don't get discouraged. And will there be an improvement in her finances? So yes. And is that because of a change in her employment status? Yeah, that's what's going to be the hitch. You're going to sense you're going to somewhere else, but there's going to be something that gets in the way. So it's going to take a little longer than you might think, but I think it's going to be great. I mean, never as much as we'd want, but okay. Okay. And show. Will I think that's supposed to be ship come back, SP come back to me soon? I don't know what SP is, dear. I'm sorry. If you can type it again and let me know who SP is. Oh, it's my first and only pendulum. Okay. Okay. I've been in a relationship. I haven't been in a relationship for years. Will it happen soon? Okay. I take it it's a romantic relationship you're looking for, but I'll just say relationship, because I just can't believe you don't know anyone. It's a yes. And how soon? See if I can get a number. Within the next 4 months. Do you get anything, Kelly?
I got the strength card in solitude from my oracles here. So I'm pulling another one because that's kind of it's not really helpful. Okay, so now this makes sense to me. So I've got solitude and strength, right? And then I've got this beneath the surface, hidden truths and something unknown. And so I want to say to you to make sure that you take the time to, just make sure that you're good, right? That you're not carrying baggage and that kind of thing, and stand in your power and be true to yourself and all of that good stuff, right? Do some self-care, self-love. In terms of maybe the reason that you're not attracting it or it's not coming to you is because you may think you're ready, but your heart isn't ready, right? Maybe you've got to release some stuff from the past. So I would encourage you to do some self-care and some self-love, and hopefully that.
Well, she's got 4 months.
Yeah,
she's got 4 months.
All the time in the world. That's great.
That's not really okay. Okay, apparently SP is specific person.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
well,
so
who knew? I didn't know that. I've learned something new today. I love that.
Yeah, I know. Okay, see, is a specific person going to show back up in Janet Crawford's life soon?
Marie Hansen says special person. I like that one too.
I got a no, and so if you're thinking of a specific person that you want to come back, I see a no. Now let's see if a special person can come into your life. That's a yes. So you need to get your eye off the old prize.
Yep, I got a yes. Interesting.
So that ought to confuse the crap out of you because we said a yes and a no and a yes and a no. Yes. Oh. Bubs Grant's thinking about studying Maui medicine. That would be interesting.
Very interesting, for sure.
Yeah, if you ever do get that, get in touch with me, Bubs. I love having healers with different talents on. Kathy Persons, will I move back to the U.S.? Elizabeth Fuller, I don't do sports questions. I know nothing about it. Kathy Persons moving back to the U.S. Boy, is it going to take you forever to make up your mind about this. But it's a solid yes when you finally make your mind up. But it's something that's going to spin around for a while.
Yeah, I got the 10 of Pentacles. And the 6 of Cups. So you're definitely, I think that you want to move closer to family or to be around your family. So it's definitely something that you want. And on the bottom of the deck, I got the Ace of Pentacles. So that's why I think you were swinging around for so long. I think it's going to take a bit, but I think that you are going to get there. You're going to get closer to your family.
And Elizabeth, I don't mean to alienate you, but I just don't do sports. It's not my thing. So we're going to go to Covington, and I think this will kind of be the last. Any messages from my spirit guides? So for G. Covington. Okay, Irene will read yours too, but that's it, guys, because I got to rest. And she had a long night last night. Kelly had Johnny from Tarot's Apprentice on her show. And if you want to go back and look at it, it's really interesting because they talk about things that out of her world and kind of how that relates. So
yeah, it was a really cool show. Thank you for saying that. And then we talked about embracing our spirituality, and so it was really interesting to get his insight on that.
Yeah. Oh, your spirit guides have some great stuff for you. They're providing you with a happy home so that you can start making some more independent decisions for yourself. Now here's the crux of this one, girl. And I know if you're a girl or a guy. G, thank you very much, Jennifer. G, you get in your head too much. You sit there and the Two of Swords is your head and your heart fighting. You need to let your heart open up, because your heart's telling you there's some moves you definitely need to make, and you're afraid to make them because you think it's going to separate you from people you care about. But you need to make them. You're a girl. Okay, G. Covington, you're a girl, and you're living in your head a little too much. But it says the spirit guides say, we've given you this base to work from. Use it wisely.
I don't really have anything to add other than this. I got to back up what Nancy Jean said. So this is phase entanglement. So getting cut in your head, getting stuck in between something, right? And I got this card, which is my favorite card out of this particular oracle deck that I use. It's the Spirit Animal Wisdom deck, and it is Owl, which is your sight. And your sight is, like detach your emotions from situations that you cannot control.
Yeah, and look at the situation completely. An owl can turn its head every which way and see everything from all points.
Absolutely.
Give that opportunity. Okay.
Not to mention that an owl is, owls also speak to freedom. They speak to wisdom. So
they were Athena's pet. And we're going to do this one, and then we're going to have to go because I'm starting to drop my cards on the floor. That's never a good sign.
Uh-oh.
And I'll be on Sunday Morning Coffee on Scott Allen's channel. And that's the one place you will hear me discuss politics. And but it's mostly how to engage in them. And then I'm going to be doing some work on energy work on how to align our energies with the changing energetics of the entire planet. So, small little topics. Okay. See if you're ever going to find peace. For the rest of your life, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to read that. I'm going to see where I sent your. It's going to tell me about your ability to do that. Okay.
I have Theora, who is a psychic medium, coming to join me on Sunday at 2:30. And she does the colors like Medium Kim does, which is always fun.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to that.
What I'm showing right now is that you're depending too much on other people to try and make yourself happy, and you're not putting in the work. You need to put the work in to get to your happiness. And a lot of that comes from having had a really strange childhood. So I'm going to do the pendulum and show you how to find your vibration, if I can, Irene. I've never done this before, so you get the first one I do it for. So take from that point of view. She's kind of an novice at this. And
I got two really interesting cards for you, Irene. I've got Fire Spirit, which is energy. And if you can see close, she's got a flame in one hand and a ball of like light in the other. And there's something about that picture that always talks to me about like balancing, because her hands are like absolutely even there. So balancing your energy may be important to you. I also got Fairies Earth Magic. And this is from the Earth Magic deck. And so you've got two cards talking to you about like energy and like the earth. And so I want to tell you that I think that you have the connection to yourself. I think that maybe you need to work on being grounded and like some sort of balancing thing with yourself. And so I don't know if you're having an issue in that department, but I think that that's really going to serve you well as you move forward in your life, right? I really think that the balance is something that you need to grab a hold of.
When I got her energy, she ended up here at like 60, between 60 and 600 and 700. And what that shows is that you have presence in things, you know where you're doing, but that you still have 400 vibrational levels to go up. And basically your vibration at this point is aware. It's between non-duality and awareness. So the way I'd view that is you're merging into a new kind of awareness, and that's what you need to get away from the people who are pulling you back. That's what those negative cards that I saw for you are. You get yourself into a good space, and then you go trade it for company with people who are not in a good space. And it doesn't take very long for a negative person to pull you back and pull you down. But thank you for asking. And thank you for asking questions.
That was a really interesting question.
Oh, and this is my nice lady that I tried to get to the Japanese gardens with yesterday until my heart decided to walk out on us. Oh. But she's a lovely lady, and I hope you're enjoying your trip here to Texas. And I hope everyone has this one says, showing you, show. I hope everybody has a blessed and lovely good night. And on that, we'll close. Say goodbye, Kelly.
Bye, everybody. Blessings.